Mets now into the playoffs. They don't start today, but if it did, they would be in. Sterling Marte with the walk-off, just ahead of the Braves. So shout out to the Mets. And they keep doing the Grimace thing. Now they have a purple chair at Citi Field. They love Grimace.
Yeah, that turned their season around.
It did.
It did.
It did.
Yeah. You don't like?
You the king of vibes. You're supposed
leaning into it.
Yeah.
vibe with that.
You're wearing a Grimace tie.
I'm not a huge Grimace guy.
Oh.
More of a hamburglar.
Like Grimace.
Check in on the MVP race. That's a weird and wonderful. You love Grimace?
I mean,
name one good thing.
fine.
Name one thing that Grimace does great.
Turn the Mets season around.
I'll never get
Check and mate.
Check in on the MVP race, which hasn't really reflected the hot starts by the likes of sneaky good players like Gardner Minshew, Sam Darnold, Mahomes, Allen, and Stroud at 1, 2, and 3. Jalen Hurts hanging in there at 4. Burrow and Lamar tied at 5. So, Brou, who's on your MVP ballot so far? Does it look exactly like
Well,
this?
look, I have no problem with the odds because obviously we have 15 games left.
To projection.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the better quarterbacks in the league. But right now, I'm glad you asked because I created a little something.
Wow.
Called Brou's Ballot.
Brou's Ballot.
Also known as B squared.
Wait, what is this?
For Brou's Ballot.
Wow.
What are you wearing?
I know that jacket. I like that jacket.
Well, that's Lamar's outfit.
Oh,
When he
is that
won
what
the
that
MVP.
is? Oh,
They
okay.
also thickened your neck, bro. Yeah.
Nick's mad.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
in the weight
That's
room.
great.
Okay, B squared. Here we go. Brou's Ballot.
Squared.
B squared. B,
Yeah, we get it.
B. Okay.
got it.
Wilds didn't get it.
I did.
Number 5,
Let's
and I
see.
really want to hear your guys. Sam Darnold. It's right now. It's not a rich tapestry.
No.
It's not about last
No,
year.
that
It's not
part's
about
all
your
true.
career.
Yeah.
It's about at this very moment who are the MVPs. He's number 5. Obviously, two wins, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's 5th in passer rating. No, but 4 is second to only 2 other quarterbacks in the league right now with touchdowns, and obviously the huge win over San Francisco. So I give him some props for that. Number 4. Kyler Murray, also known as Kyler Flurry. I mean, we saw him last week against the Rams. Fantastic. People forget how good he was in his first 3 years. He made 2 Pro Bowls, had the horrible playoff game, but those 2 regular seasons, Kyler was looking like a future star, and he's starting to look that way again. Number 3, I'm throwing in a running back.
That's
J.K.
right.
Dobbins, right?
I agree with
because
you entirely.
he has run for almost as many yards as Justin Herbert has thrown for. And I mean, it's close. He's got 266 yards rushing.
Yep.
Herbert's thrown for 274.
Yeah.
And he's been balanced. 131 the first week, 135 this week, or maybe it was reversed, but he's averaging 10 yards a carry.
Yeah.
That is 10 yards a carry.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's
Put him on the
been
Eagles.
phenomenal. All right, number 2. And I know he was too high in Mahomes Mountain, but right now, this is not a rich tapestry. This is this very moment. No, this is this very moment. He should be
And
second
Mahomes
in the
Mountain
MVP.
is this very
No,
moment.
Mahomes Mountain is
That's
a
a rich
tapestry. There's
tapestry.
history and all that
Got
stuff.
to go through 8 games.
Right.
Last
Baker's
8
been
games.
great. He wasn't as great against Detroit as Nick thinks, but he was good.
But good enough.
And he was
What do you mean?
excellent.
Hold on. You
He
just
was
had him second
excellent.
in MVP.
Yeah, he was good. He led him to an
So he
upset
wasn't very
victory.
good in one of the
No, he
2
was
games.
good. He
and
was.
he's second
You
in
said he
MVP.
was phenomenal.
No,
you talked about like he was phenomenal. All right, number 1, Derek Carr. Derek Carr is the MVP right now. If they gave out the award today, Derek Carr would be a
You're out of your
unanimous. Right now. Okay,
He's not even the MVP of his team right now.
Actually, he is.
Really?
Here's the numbers: 142 passer rating.
Yeah.
Preach.
11.4 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
Nice.
77% completion percentage.
How many yards?
I
bro?
mean, what are we talking?
Yeah.
But because he's only thrown it, he's
Yeah.
only had to throw it about 20 times a
why?
game.
Why?
But most of them are touchdowns.
Kamara's been the best player on
No,
their
he
team.
has not. No,
What
he
do you-
has not. And Kamara's been great. I don't want to dismiss Kamara. Derek Carr has been lighting it up, Nick.
Yeah.
He's had several long bombs. We saw the 70-yarder last week against the Cowboys. He had a 60-yarder the week before. Like, he's had several. I mean, come on. Kamara, I don't want to dismiss Kamara. But to say Derek Carr hasn't been the MVP?
I don't think he has. Coach told us yesterday about how he threw 16 passes in week 2, and they blew him out because Alvin Kamara scored 4 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara has been the most dynamic player on that team. Carr's been very good. I'm not taking anything away from him as far as that. I'm not acting like he hasn't played well, but I think that.
So you would vote for Kamara as MVP right now?
No. I said Carr's not even the MVP of his team. I didn't do a whole ballot, but I did actually. I just don't have it produced up. I agree with you entirely that on the ballot would have to be Bake Show and Dobbins. The 3 people I had on there that you did not were Josh Allen, T.J. Watt, because I think Watt single-handedly won him the first game, was dominant in the second game, and at number 1 I had C.J. Stroud, who I thought in week 1 was spectacular through what I called on this show the second best pass of the year, Anthony Richardson's, and then Tom Brady on the broadcast called it the pass of the year, so I'll let him have that. Or you know what, Tom Brady didn't. It was Belichick actually called it the pass of the year. And I thought in week 2, CJ, while they only scored 19 points, I thought he made they were in 3rd and 13, 3rd and 9, and he was making these plays against what I think is an excellent defense. So that's it. And you know my general feeling is you can't be MVP of the league if you haven't been the best player on your own offense. And I think Alvin Kamara has been better than Derek Carr. And so it's the same thing I used.
That's a tapestry.
No, I'm just saying it's the same thing I used against, but to me with Purdy last year, I thought Christian McCaffrey had been better than him as far as skill position guys on his team. Yeah. I thought Tyreek had been better than Tua. So I thought that, those guys were the leading actors of that movie. So that's why I disagree on Carr.
Okay.
Brou, I didn't think I could like one of your segments better than I like the Pud List.
Thank you, Coach.
But
Thank you, Coach.
You deliver in a way that it's just exciting to me.
Be squared.
But I like the idea, just we had CMC and Brock Purdy on the list last year, or they were on the list. Why don't we put Kamara and Carr on the list? Then we do J.K. Dobbins. I like T.J. Watt. That's a nice addition.
Well, that's mine.
I know, but I'm saying
I thought about Watt.
I love the idea of having a couple running backs on the list, a defensive player on the list. I think the MVP has just become such a quarterback. It's like nobody can look at anything besides
on
that.
The quarterback
so
stuff.
the idea of adding other players as possible candidates, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. Is it there? It's Derek Carr. Is that what you're gonna say?
This is
Derek Carr.
This is my thing. This is what I do.
What's what you do?
Ride for mediocre quarterbacks. This is my brand.
Derek Carr, Baker, Kyler going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So now, since you stole my brand, I will flip it. I will steal one of your brands. If you could put up I don't have the
just
graphic.
an excuse.
It's
You've been dying to steal
You put
this.
back up the graphics, and I'll flip it on you. Since you are an expert on
I
that.
have a question for him too.
Okay. This is also Pumpkin Watch. Now we didn't label it Pumpkin Watch. But this
That's
is also,
fair. It is.
It's Pumpkin Watch.
It is.
So who is most likely to go full pumpkin?
Oh,
Who's in pumpkin
that's
mode?
obvious. It's also the guy who
Darnold,
of all
I
those
would
guys
say.
shouldn't be on.
I would say Darnold.
You think Darnold this year, Brou, has been better than Josh Allen? Really?
Yes, because I don't think Allen, the second game, he threw for 130 yards.
That's the problem.
Right, he didn't have to do much. I give you that. But
Darnold has
so
4
far,
touchdowns and 2 picks.
I know what James Cook did.
But a
Same
big
argument you made for
upset, a
Kamara,
big
you
win
make it for
over
James
San Francisco, in which he
Mahomes
played
has 3
well.
touchdowns and 3 picks. I mean,
Yes, and that's what, Coach,
And
I
that's
don't mean to yell at you. He's not on the
4.
damn list.
On the
Nobody
pumpkin
thinks he's
list?
on the
But
list.
Darnold-
Nobody
Darnold's
thinks
been
he's
good.
nobody
The
thinks he's
original
played at an
MVP list.
MVP level. I'm
on
sorry?
the graphic.
wasn't he on the first
No,
MVP
that's
list?
the Vegas odds,
Right.
which is a projection of what's going to happen.
He's on the graphic.
I gave 5 names. He gave 5 names. No
Big
one had
win over
Mahomes on it.
against that defense, which is supposed to be good. San Francisco.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean,
2
I
touchdowns?
think
I
mean,
love the pumpkin watch element to it. That's
They're all
once October hits,
all of those guys are pumpkin
That's-
watch. I don't expect any of them to
J.K.
be
Dobbins
in
not
the
going to go
race.
pumpkin.
Well,
We'll see.
You're
He's
worried
gonna
about
average
J.K.
100
Dobbins'
yards a
health.
game?
I mean, he's not going to average. He's not going to have a 2,000-yard season. But that
not gonna go pumpkin.
Baker's not going to.
I don't think any of them will be. Baker could be on the top 5 late at the end of the year.
I
Maybe.
think
I mean,
Darnold's fascinating.
Most of those guys have all
Carr.
been pumpkins at one point in their career.
Yeah,
so
all
don't you
of
have
them.
to be on pumpkin watch if at some point you've been a pumpkin?
Yeah, they all.
What are the rules of pumpkin?
I don't know.
The rules of pumpkin mode?
Yeah, pumpkin
He
watch.
doesn't know. He went ad lib. That was a freestyle.
No, it's like when you're playing over your skis, and then all of a
And
sudden
you
you
think
turn
it's
into a
gonna come
pumpkin.
all
No,
of
but if you've been on pumpkin, if you've
He's
been
saying
a
if
pumpkin
you've been a
in the
pumpkin
past,
before,
you're gonna. There's always
permanently
a
are you
chance.
on permanent
you
pumpkin?
permanent?
No. Geno Smith was on pumpkin watch for a while,
Yeah.
and now he's a great
Oh,
quarterback.
I'm
off
also
pumpkin watch?
surprised you didn't have CJ. CJ's been excellent.
been very
CJ
good.
has made no mistakes.
But every one of those guys has been excellent, I think.
I-
CJ's been very good. I thought about CJ.
Yeah.
And I thought
You're
about
lucky
Watt. That
Greg
was a good
Jennings
one.
isn't here. He would tell you this definitively makes CJ his guy, not your guy.
I love CJ.
Greg
That
Jennings.
might be
Well, he's
defined.
not here, so CJ's my guy.
All right, coming up next.
Great list, Brou.
I didn't even want to do this. I tried to extend that segment.
Oh, you guys are just trying to do another Trevor